time for Courtney and Eddie.
Hey! I was put God first.
And we are live. Yes, you guys. Welcome to Courtney and Eddie. Welcome to our channel. We have the beautiful Kimmi Scott with us on today. And Maurice, he's coming. So he's on the way.
Late as usual.
He act like
he's up now. Ain't no now.
So, first of all, we want to say thank you for accepting our invitation to an interview. We have followed Love and Marriage Huntsville since season 1. I know I watched it. We may not have actually done a review until maybe later mid-season.
Right.
But yeah, been a fan. We are in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. So of course, when a show out of Alabama decided that they want to do a reality show and in our state, we had to jump on it. Now it took my husband a while for him to actually want to do a review on it.
Yeah. Man, what grown man do a review on reality TV? I ain't gonna do a review on a reality TV, but she talked me into doing it, so I sat down a couple times and watched it. I said, okay, yeah, Alabama people doing Alabama things. All right, I can get along with that.
So let me ask you, since we've talked about that, what made you decide to get into reality TV? Is it something you wanted to do, or how did that work?
It's something I never thought of ever in life. I do watch reality. I'm a Married to Medicine fan. I'm from DC, so of course I'm a Potomac fan. So I would watch those. Housewives of Atlanta. That was my little list. But never in a million years would I have thought to have been on television. It was all about timing. And it's funny that, you know, Eddie says, not me, a man doing a reality show. The fact of the matter is, hanging out with Marceau, Tisha, Martell, and Melody, we had a lot of, men don't do that moments. You know what I mean? We had a lot of conversations about men and women. Like all night long, we would be talking about, you know, something. And that's kind of like how a lot of this spurred. A lot of what we were thinking was going to be the show was going to be things that men and women talk about. Like that men and women agree on, men and women disagree on.
Right.
You know, every disagreement don't have to be an argument. Every disagreement don't have to be a divorce.
Right.
It was supposed to spur conversation between men and women. It was supposed to, because it's like we're complete opposites a lot of times. So we were friends with Melody, and Melody voiced that she wanted to do a reality show. And we laughed it off like the first couple times that she mentioned it. Literally, we laughed it off. I remember even Martell was like, girl, no, stop. And so she kept coming back. And I remember we were looking at some property one time at the Comeback Group. And after we finished looking at the property, we were in the parking lot, and she said it again. You know, I really want to do a reality show. Don't y'all want to do a reality show? And all of us were like, wait, like we don't have enough mess going on. You got to have mess to have a reality show.
That's true.
And that's how we felt. We were like, we're not that interested to have a reality show because we don't have enough drama going on. And she was just like, no, I just think we can. I think we can. And I remember the day that Martell, well, in front of us anyway, they, I'm sure, had multiple other conversations, but in front of us, I remember that day in the parking lot, and he said, okay, Mel. And she said, so I can call the guy in Atlanta? I can call the film crew? And he was like, yeah, call him. And so we started filming with her out of a crew out of Atlanta, a different crew out of Atlanta. We started filming just some stuff with her. And she was the leader of it all. She said what she wanted to have on there. She talked about the Comeback Group, of course, which was the foundation of the show by definition. And so we started filming a lot of that kind of stuff. As far as some of the properties we were looking at, some of the land that we had invested in. And it just kind of grew from there. Like, I guess at some point, she and Martell wanted to do more like a HGTV type thing. And so they reached out to do that. And then they kind of came back and they were like, so we want to try this group thing again. So they came back and asked us, and we were happy to. I mean, like the way it was presented to us was like, you get to be on TV and just be yourself. That was how it was presented. So who's not going to be on board?
Being ourselves,
What up, man? What's going on, bro? Late as usual.
That's his friend. That's it. Stop. So who's not going to be on board to, be on TV and be yourself?
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how it panned out. Like that was never in my bucket list. It's never in my bucket list.
Y'all looking good?
Man. The cute couple over there in Huntsville. Look at y'all. Look how cute. So cute. You want to put y'all little cheeks, man. But yeah. Well, hey, Kimmi, what made you come down to Huntsville from DC?
Oh, so I ended up in Huntsville. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. And so
I ended up
in Huntsville because I went to Pine Forge Academy, which is the Seventh-day Adventist boarding school, quite frankly. And a lot of my friends were going to come to Oakwood, which is the Adventist college that's down here. And so my mother wanted me to go to Oakwood. My mother wanted that very badly for my soul, for my reeling me in from the streets. Like this, I mean, literally, she just wanted to get me out of DC. It was obvious.
Right.
But I came down here to go to school. I did not stay at Oakwood because I'm a nursing major. And at the time, they were not in a position to help me facilitate that. So I left and went to the University of Alabama. But that's how I ended up down here.
Okay.
The goal was because I was supposed to go to Oakwood for school. And I started, I just didn't finish. I didn't finish over there. Then I went back home.
She made University of Alabama, UAH.
UAH, okay.
I came back in 99 because that's when I had Jalen. And I wanted to not raise him in DC. So I kind of wanted to try to stack the odds in his favor. So I came back in 99.
Okay. So, Maurice, I know you from up north, you and your brothers. What made you decide to come to Huntsville yourself, man? I know you from Michigan, right?
So
what made you just come down to Huntsville?
I came to Alabama for the second time after, I was in a situation where I was deciding that, we're going to end the marriage that I had previously to Kiowa. And I went outside, man, and I was in Miami, right? And I was having a ball down there in Miami. And I bet you were. The day before Christmas.
It's the nickname Miami.
It changed me, guys.
It's in Miami.
But I went swimming the day before Christmas. And I was like, man, I don't actually have to live where snow come up with these and shoveling snow to get out of the driveway to go to work.
Right.
I'm doing this again. So I was like, I'm actually going to move to West Palm Beach, Florida, because my mama and family was staying there at that time. And then Marcel was like, hey man, why don't you just come to Huntsville? And I was like, he was like, no, for real, come to Huntsville, we'll do some business together, all kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. So then I moved to Huntsville instead of West Palm Beach.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a roundabout journey, but okay, cool.
So in Huntsville is where so is it in Huntsville where you and Kimmi met?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We met in Huntsville. Go ahead.
Oh, and Kim slid in your DMs, right? All over the DMs. Hey, can you cut my son hair? I said, come on.
That wasn't the first introduction. We were introduced by his brother and his brother's wife at the time, my friend Patricia. That's how we were introduced. However, to speed up the process of the hellos after the introduction, I trolled him a little bit. I did, and I hopped in those DMs, and what did I ask you? If you're a barber? She told me he was a barber. So I went in there, and I was like, I heard you were a barber, and then I should get in touch with you.
So I started cutting Jalen's hair, and I was getting interviewed on the low, right? I never knew you were seeing my interactions with Jalen and stuff, and then long to the short of it, a while later, she's out here telling me that she had a little affinity for you, boy.
Okay, all right. She made them moves, man. She made them moves.
So, Kimmi, is it fair to say that you made the first move?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was in his DM first, so yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, like I said, we were introduced, and the day that we got introduced, I don't think we had much conversation that first day. They would just say, "Kimmi, this is Reese. Reese, this is Kimmi."
That's it. And the other thing is, like, as I'm cutting Jalen's hair, over time, we're actually, talking because I'm there, and he's watching me cut his hair and make sure that, hey, no, make sure you get the edge. That's because she used to cut Jalen's hair.
Oh, okay.
His hair. And one of her challenges was edging, right?
Right.
So, but she did a good job. Like, I saw her, like, some of her fades, and I'm like, look at you, fading with care. But it was difficult for her to get the lineup straight. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But she would critique all my work.
Oh wow! So she knew exactly what she was doing then. So she was critiquing you.
Yeah, typical woman.
So let me ask. Let me ask you this, Kimmi. If someone is interested in somebody, do you recommend them to a woman to make the first, move if they want to? Or are you kind of like a traditional Southern, wait for the guy to make the move?
So here's the thing. Like, I was in a place where I was just kind of chilling, just kind of hanging out. I wasn't with Jalen's dad or anything. I'm typically not the first move kind of person. Because I
it froze up. Can y'all still hear us?
Yeah, it kind of froze up.
Y'all froze.
It froze. I'm not sure if you can hear us. Uh-oh.
We hear a little something.
Yep.
We froze.
It looks like we're stuck. Oh.
Okay, now you unstuck. Yeah.
It's when Maurice sat down, it froze.
Man, what kind of antenna you got in your pocket, man? Every time you come around, man.
So I don't necessarily say it's anybody's job in particular, quite frankly. I think however you're feeling in that moment, the irony of the situation though is I did reach out to his DM first. That's 100% accurate. And we talked on social media a little bit. Later down the road, as our relationship and our friendship progressed, I remember talking to Patricia, my friend that introduced us. And I hadn't heard from him in a while, like 4 or 5 days or something like that. It's too long in my opinion. And so she was like, well, just call him. I was like, I'm not calling him. Like, he can call me. Like, he can call me. I don't have to call him. So when in my brain is raised to believe that the man should chase the woman and he should pursue her. And if he wants her, he will do that. You don't have to go after them. Right. So albeit I made the initial hello after we were introduced. I think I kind of just forced myself to wait for him to just kind of, do what he wanted to do in regards to me.
I love it.
Well, you slid in my DMs.
Yeah, our story is similar.
Yeah, she slid all my DMs, and I said, "Well, who is this chick in all my DMs, man?"
I slid in his DM to ask him a question.
I said, God.
I just asked if he cut hair. I didn't say nothing else. I didn't say nothing.
Wait.
I didn't say anything inappropriate. I said I heard I should get in touch with you because you cut hair.
Right.
When a woman slides in a man DM, she wants something, man. She trying to holler.
Trying to ask the question.
And you see where y'all at now, right? She's swinging your DM. You see where you at right now.
You know, Maurice be naive like that though, for real. Like folk be after him, and he be acting like he has no clue. Like after him.
This is real talk. I people at face value. What you say, you know, hopefully you mean that.
Right.
I say I mean.
Right. See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm with you on that one, man. You know what I'm saying? Say what you mean. Don't be beating around the bush. Go ahead and spit it on out, man. If you want to get with me, just say you want to get with me.
Let bring myself to be the first person to say that. So I figured I had to go like, you know, a different angle.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
I just kind of said hello, and then that seems to be sufficient.
Yeah, you just kind of put yourself out there to let him know that you are available, or you're open, or you like what you see, and so forth. You know, even if it was around the
same
haircut.
Introduction that I got, so he knew that there was behind the scene work in regards to y'all meeting. You know, he knew that. So I
think Maurice was trying to play it cool.
He was like, "All right, she with it."
Hey, the mistake I made though with that is that we became friends long before we started dating. There's conversation that I wouldn't have had with my wife, right? Because
he used to tell me a lot of stuff.
I told her, well, not everything, but I told her a lot of stuff about what was going on in my life, right?
About him being in the streets.
Yes.
So now when I say it, he don't really like it. Like he doesn't like when I talk about some of the stuff that he told me he was doing.
Because she don't let it go, right? That was a time in life. I was getting over one relationship. I was moving on to doing me, right? and I'm just, you know, freely talking to, you know, my friend about what's going on. And then, you know,
man, you broke man code, man. You broke man code, man. You don't tell your female friend at the time all your secrets. Then you fall in love with her. Then you marry her. Now she know all your dirty deeds.
Look, I honestly don't think that he thought at the initial meet that it was going to be something down the road. Like I think that he legit felt like we were going to be friends and cool. Like I'm older than Maurice, so I don't know if the first thing he thought was like in 10 years I might actually still be with this girl. Because he would tell me all kinds of stuff, and I give him my female advice. Like even when he was with certain people, he was with some people, and I would say, "Well, why don't you do this? Well, what happened? Or why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you say that?" And I would tell him, like, "Why don't you try this?" And you know,
nah, she know all your little secrets,
so,
man.
Doggy, boy, I'm just having troubles today.
Well, we can hear you.
It's still good. Yeah. You just got
to hear you.
Cut off fast.
Hold on, we gotta readjust.
No, you can keep talking. I'm just gonna plug it in while we talk.
So the friendship was in between the haircut.
No, it was from the haircutting.
Okay.
From the haircutting forward until we actually, you know, started dating. Like,
okay.
It was a long time. It was about more than almost 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while, and then it started. And
because after you hear all those stories about him being in the street, and you done talk to him about all this stuff that he's done,
right.
Now turn his affection toward you. You're like, still, what about that one or that one, or what about, you know? I just had a lot of questions when it moved to the next phase of our relationship, past friendship.
And tell the truth, you was dating other folks too. So we went from friends, then we started dating, and we weren't exclusive even when we were dating. Slowly but surely, it was like, you know, the game of elimination.
It was
right.
Okay with just being, you know, friends or whatever. So it was what it was until it wasn't okay anymore. It was okay until it wasn't okay.
Well, who said, okay, let's make this official. Let's be exclusive. Which one of y'all said, hey, I don't want to do that no more?
Kimmi.
I didn't know, but wait.
You gotta hear the story. You gotta hear this story. This is an exclusive. Nobody's ever done.
I didn't actually say it's time for us to be exclusive, but in all honesty, he's correct. We were dating other people. I, however, had stopped dating my other people long before he had stopped dating his other people. And so we had a couple of conversations in regards
Tell
to
them what the conversations were.
In regards to like meeting him. Like I would see him out at a restaurant or, a club or something. And I would say, hey, how you doing? And he would say, hey. And he would be with somebody, right? I didn't care. I was like, we cool, so I could still say hi, right? Like I could still say hi. And one time he kind of brushed me off, and I was like,
"Hey guys, I didn't brush her off. Let me be clear what happened. Because this is how I'm glad there's no edit button on this live.
Actually, it's a recording.
So be yourselves, man.
I thought it was going to be live, so you couldn't cut this out. Saw me out and literally put her hand all the way up my shirt and start feeling. I'm like, ma'am, this is a lot for me to be with somebody else right now.
Yeah, Karen, what you thinking?
That's you see what I'm saying? That's familiarity. She was blowing, and I'm like, well, but no, not really our time. She felt brushed off. I get it, right? But it was kind of a highly aggressive move at the moment.
Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
I told him I was not interested in these other people anymore. So if he wanted to date me, he had to, at some measure, decide he was done dating with these other people. Like, I didn't want to hear the stories anymore. Like, I grew past it. I just legit grew past it. And I didn't want to hear the stories. Like,
I thought she was going to give y'all the short version. Let me give y'all the short version.
Okay, the short version.
This is the short version. Kimmi had 3 episodes where she took me out to a public place to let me go.
To dump you?
3 times she did this. She was like, all of a sudden I get a call in the middle of the work week, right? Would you like to go to lunch? She already had the place picked. Now I know, because she doesn't normally pick the place. Now I know this was all pre-planned, that she was going to let me go in a public place so I can't act up or whatever she thought it was.
Oh my God.
And he always asks me, like, now, why would you take me to restaurants? And we just didn't talk at your house or something. Yeah. And I said, 1, I just didn't want you to act up. Like, I didn't want you to act up and like clown or be loud. And 2, like at my house, I didn't want you like rubbing on me. Oh, I'm sorry. And one thing lead to another. And then you change your mind. So I just was like, we're going to go to this restaurant and we're going to eat. And then
that's called
you're going to go home.
The Last Supper.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You had it 3 times, man.
So it's fair to say Kimmi caught feelings and she was like, listen, let's make this official.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because he was just doing too much. Like he was just doing too much, like in the street, and it just no longer was entertaining. Like to listen to all the stories, it just wasn't.
Well, I'm glad you guys ended up together because for what we can see on the television, to me, y'all look like a great couple. Okay, a great strong Black couple. And it's good to see Black love on television, positive Black love on television. So to me, you guys are rock solid. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy watching you guys on TV. I really do. Maurice, sometime. Yeah, man. I saw your little live you did on Instagram saying I do too much, man. I meant to call you on that, man.
So now you and your feelings.
Hey, listen.
Oh, no. I just like, what? Come on, bro.
Let me tell you how funny that was to me. I'm gonna tell you, because one of the biggest things about reality TV is listening to fans' opinions of you based on 42 minutes,
right?
Be it positive, negative, or whatever. That's hilarious. And then listening to vloggers
Mm-hmm.
their review of the show based on the same 42 minutes.
Right.
However, the humor to me when he did that on Tuesday was how many people actually kind of got in their feelings about what he said, whether they agreed with it and didn't. A lot of people didn't agree with certain parts. They didn't find the humor in it.
Right.
Hilarious to me. You can get on here every day and talk about us and be wrong as rain.
Mm-hmm.
Say one thing and they're just all up in arms, you know.
Yes.
And he even mentioned this morning there were a couple of people who said they weren't going to review the show anymore because the fans are just toxic and they out of control. And they are out of control. But again, I think it's bordering on comical to me because we have to sit through the same horrible comments and horrible viewpoints. But then when these fans get into some of these bloggers' inboxes,
Right.
they don't like it. They're like, they don't like it. And I'm like, we listen to y'all talk about us every day. Just be wrong, just be wrong. And so I found humor in that. I found humor that there were quite a few people that took exception to his awards.
I'm gonna tell you this. At the end of the day, I meant what I said. I meant what I said. It was an honest critique. And at the end of the day, if I like you, I like you.
Right. I get it.
I appreciate your content. Like, first of all, this is the one thing I can say. We wouldn't be where we're at, and the fans wouldn't be as passionate or as they are if they weren't connected.
That's right.
We get connected through you guys.
Right?
Social media actually connected this show to people. That's why our base is so strong. So I'm sorry. So to me, I think that we owe you guys a bit of gratitude. And I think that, you know, as you guys grow the fan base, that you guys deserve your flowers. So it is what it is. If people don't like it, then, you know, and y'all gonna have opinions. And the last thing I'll say on that is it's unfortunate because one of my favorite bloggers, Misha, said that she's not going to review the show anymore. And I'm like, she's hilarious.
Right.
Hilarious. She got really, really good content. She's extremely creative. And it's unfortunate that we get to the point to where we, and I say we, I'm talking about the fan base, get so passionate to the point to where we can't separate reality from reality television. Reality television has an edit button.
Right.
I never lived a moment in my life that wasn't in the present. I can't go back to yesterday, and I definitely can't fast forward. So, dog, you got to be able to understand it's reality and reality television.
Yeah, because you know, we get attacked all the time. For like they say, we Team Scott, we bias, we suck, we country,
y'all pay us.
I'm saying I haven't seen a chick from y'all yet. So so yeah, man.
If somebody says anything nice toward this guys, we paying them. Like it's all the time. It's all the time. They must not know how I do my coins because it's just not. I'm not interested in nobody for their opinion of me. Right. Like I'm simply just not interested in that. And I think that's so unfortunate.
It is.
When this show first started, and there would be people, you know, that don't like Kimmi, don't like Tisha, don't like Mel, whatever. I really didn't think twice about it because there's so many other people to like. You don't have to like me. You can love Tisha. I love Tisha. You know what I'm saying? You can love Mel. So you don't have to like me. However, you don't have to berate me.
That's the key. That's the key.
My dilemma comes in.
Right.
As humans, you know, I was thinking about it last week. I think a couple days where when all this whole internet social media thing first started, and you had children who were, you know, committing suicide and whatnot for cyberbullying and this, and it was hard for my personal brain to wrap around. It literally was, because as a child, I never really took to bullying very well. And as an adult, I certainly don't. And so on social media, I would be like, well, turn it off. Like, how does it get to a point that it makes you want to harm yourself? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now I can see. Mm-hmm. I can see how people can be so mean and nasty for no reason. And it's unbelievable to me how you can hide behind social media.
Exactly.
They create fake pages with no issues. Like, if you that big and bad, come big and bad. Like, show me what you got with your face and your family. You know what I'm saying?
They're not gonna do that.
It's just like unreal to me, the measures they'll go to be ugly. Like, to be ugly. And it's terrible.
You know what, guys? I actually, and this is why we fit so well, because we're opposites. I actually don't care. Like, I really don't care. You know what? Until you become an absolute nuisance, you can drag me up and down my comment line. I do not care if you drag me.
Right.
This is the truth. Whether you like me or dislike me, the story's incomplete because you don't know me.
There you go, bro. There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
What really matters are the people that actually know me.
That's
Their
right.
opinion of me matters to me.
Right.
Because you know both sides. You know the story. You know how things worked out. You know how I would normally react. Like, not an edited version of television. You know, I got a 4-minute segment. Kid, listen to this. We talked on the reunion for what, maybe 5-6 minutes?
Right.
Kimmi's diagnosis.
That's right.
Guys, she was actively going through chemo every single day. She was bald at that moment. Right? We were there for hours on end and 5 minutes per play.
Right.
She wasn't even knowing. That's one of the normal days where it was actually one of her normal down days. Right? And we sat through the whole thing for 5 minutes. That's not our real life. Our real life, all that other stuff that was going on at that time, was the most thing in my life at that time was her health.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We're sitting on the stage at work because part of our job is to tell this story. Now, hopefully that 5 minutes impacted enough people to get up and go get checked out.
That's right.
Important. But in all honesty, that was what's most important to me. How are you feeling, sweetheart?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Speaking of that, Maurice, Kim, how are you feeling? Are you doing better now? How is your treatment? Your treatments are going well, or what?
I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you.
That's great. That's great.
And most of that is because the chemo portion of my treatment is behind me. So, you know, even though, you know, our show is filmed months ago, on the reunion, I had 7 left, and December 5th, I took my last chemo treatment.
That's great. That's great. Real talk. That's great. I'm serious, you know.
It takes time for that poison to get out your body. So I still have some days where I'm not just like full of energy, because it just it saps your energy beyond belief. And so, but every day I feel a little bit more like me. I know last week I talked to a handful of my friends, just kind of random people that called, and each one of them said, "You sound so much better." It was like overnight, literally. People that call me every day, literally last Friday, I got on the phone and they were just like, "You sound so much better." So I just think that every single day I just come back to me. I come back to me. So right now is some of the better days I felt in months.
That's great.
Months. So I'm a little achy. Like some of the side effect is that my muscles ache. So getting up in the morning is a little slow. You know, my legs hurt. Once I get started and kind of start moving around, I'm doing much better.
That's good. That's good. Great. And I'm saying one thing.
My husband, honey, he done asked 15,000.
I know the husband has Maurice first, man. Why you gotta come down on me all the time, man?
Tag me in, bro.
Okay. I'll give you a chance. Hey, Maurice, man.
This is coming from a guy who didn't want to do the reality.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Hey, really?
And would you believe that he's an introvert?
For real? That's how you gonna do me? That's how you gonna do me? Okay, whatever, man. Whatever.
Don't get mad.
Right. Come on.
Whatever, man. Hey, Maurice, man, I know Kim been going through a lot, man. I want to just say this to you, man. I tip my hat off to you, bro, for standing by our side. I don't know if I was in your position, it would have been rough if my wife came down with something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a real man to put all that on your shoulders. Just be there for your wife. You know what I'm saying? So I want to just tip my hat off to you, bro. You set a great example for men, husbands, that when their wives go through something, they stick by their side. Because a lot of you guys, their wives go through something like that, they would dip out. They can't take it. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to tip my hat off to you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
We all tip our hats because he's done amazing.
Yeah.
Because he still has to get up and go to work and pay the bills and take care of stuff and do all of that. And when I was first diagnosed, we sent we sent Monster to one of our friends' house for the afternoon so we could kind of wrap our heads around what we were going to do before we even talked to Jalen. And I said to him, I was like, babe, this is about to be a lot. Like, I'm a nurse, so I've sat through many of patients having to go down the road. And I was like, I get it. If you think it'll be too overwhelming, you can't hang, because as caregivers, it can be overwhelming.
Right.
You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. I'm having a shitty day, but I don't know what exactly is wrong. And he'll ask me, how do you feel? And I'll be like, shit, what's wrong? Like, everything's wrong. Like, I feel like I'm in a daze. I feel nauseous. I feel sore. I feel painful. I feel tired. Like, I'm so tired, but I couldn't sleep. Like, the medicines that they give me had me up like this, but I'm so tired. I'm so tired. So some of it is hard to put into words for a caregiver who normally has to fix stuff. It's just hard to put in words. And so you just kind of, walk around till the next day. Yeah,
because I know, like, I got sick over the holidays, and
you're secret. Don't come back.
And I would say, go ahead, bury me in my grave, and I'll pick my tombstone because I was sick. You know what I'm saying? So I put a lot of pressure on her. I was kind of snapping at her. So I understand what you're saying.
Hey, Eddie, that's the hardest thing. Like, Courtney, I know if he was snapping on you, the hardest thing is like you trying to do good for you while you're chewing my face off, and I'm like, but you don't want this. You know what? I'm gonna work through it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I'm a fixer, it's difficult to wrap your mind around problems that like are unsolvable. You like be there, be present, and let her know that whatever you got, whatever you need, I got you. But ultimately, to me, I think that those are the moments that prove who you are.
Exactly.
Down, that's who you know when you got somebody on your team.
Right.
The person that's going to run when the chips are down, man, those are the people that you don't want around.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I think totally agree with you, man.
That's where character, you see a person's true character. Like, hey, now Kimmi should know, oh, yeah, I got one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I said the same thing too. I got one. So next time I catch a cold,
it ain't nothing like a man cold. Now I'm
tell him, Kim, what's going on?
A man cold will set you back. Y'all act like the world is over.
But it is.
I know. It's a man cold is a thing.
Let me tell you, Eddie didn't just have a cold. He had C19, and we don't say the name because of YouTube guidelines, but he had the C19. And let me tell you, his was not as severe as it was in the beginning.
To you, it wasn't, but to me,
he did not go to the hospital. He was not on the respirator. They didn't have to do none of that stuff. He was walking around here, but his biggest worry is why I didn't get it. How was it that we was in the same place and I didn't get it?
Yeah, that made me mad, man. I was saying we all in the same car, me, my daughter, and her friends, and her, and all three of us got it, but she didn't get it. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how she didn't get it, and I got it, and everybody else got it, and she didn't get it. So that made me mad. So yeah.
You want to be sick together.
There you go. That create closeness. You have that bond. You stick together.
But it also says, okay, somebody got to take care of somebody. So if we both would stick together, then who would it take? But
It
yeah,
don't matter.
that was his biggest thing, y'all. It was a mental thing for him. So when I had said some encouraging words and I rubbed him on the back, he said, "Don't patronize me." I said, "Listen, man, I'm gonna lock you up in this downstairs and shut the door."
Oh no! Well, no.
Oh, that's what. So yeah, he was in one. So as a nurse, Kimmi, I'm sure you dealt with all that type of stuff. So yes, so yeah. And are you still nursing?
Time, so we wasn't taking care of nobody. I was like, "You gonna get it figured out, and I'm gonna get it figured out."
Oh, y'all had it.
We
at the
did a
same
lot
time.
of sleeping.
Right.
Yeah.
We had the first go round of it when
Oh.
we was out.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, we were out.
Oh man.
I found out from that, like, oh yeah, if you had a weak immune system, I could see how this could just.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I say the same thing too, man. Luckily, mine was strong enough to withstand it.
But speaking of nursing, have you stopped nursing completely, right?
Technically, no. Like, I still keep my license up and all that kind of stuff. And I try to keep my feet in the water because I don't want that skill set to leave. But I don't work 9 to 5. I don't work a regular job at all. Anything that I've done in the last year would have been contract or volunteer by definition.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And so you're doing real estate?
Right.
That was where I started. With this in 2022, I haven't done much of anything.
Oh, okay.
But the goal when leaving nursing was to do real estate 100%. And then in the meantime of that was when we actually met Tiffany in Atlanta with the title company, who was willing to help us get the title company off the ground. So more of my energy, if I had to divide it, I think I'm probably a 70-30. I put most of my energy in the title company right now, as opposed to the real estate, because I just kind of really want to. I want to get that baby up and going.
Hey guys, I gotta always be the one that brings clarity. When Kimmi says, "Hey, I ain't doing much of nothing," that's like a part-time job.
Oh, okay.
Literally, you put like part-time hours in while going through chemotherapy.
Wow.
And I'm saying, like, how about we just put none of those hours in?
Right. Get your rest. Right.
Yeah, better. But she's working all through this. I'm like, hey, babe, chill out. So, like, her slow day is somebody's tough work day. That's who she is.
Yeah, Kim, I'll be giving you some NyQuil every day. Here you go, Kim.
It sounds more like a passion of yours, Kimmi.
Well, the title part has been like literally from the time he said he wanted to go to school, I was in his head about the title company, and he's been anti-title company. Because he had his own focus on consumer law, but I know that it's a niche here in our Madison County, Huntsville, because we just don't have a title company here with people of our color. Period. And so I just felt like it was an avenue that we could fill, to help our community. And we had literally just started. Like when I say just started, we had gone down for some classes with Tiffany in April. We started a soft campaign in May, just kind of reaching out to people on my phone, like send me a couple referrals, And then I got my diagnosis in June. And so if it were just us, I might have backed away a little bit more. But Tiffany put her reputation and her business on the line to help us. And so, no, I didn't want to back away 100% because it wasn't just my name on the line. It's my name and Tiffany, the Haas Law Firm. So, yeah, we had a lot of conversations about that because I just felt like she did a lot for us, and I owed it to her, in all fairness, to kind of keep the little boat afloat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good to know. Wow. I would love to see that show come back on the air. In fact, y'all can work together. I would love to see that, kind of
real estate in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. I loved it. I told her that. I loved it. And that's how she had reached out to me because of her show. Like her show was about to air. And she hit me up in my DM just saying, hi, sis, you know, we coming out on own, da, da, da. I was like, oh, word. And I'm going to tell you, because I go to people pages when they hit me up. Like, I'll go look and see what's going on in your world before.
Right.
And so I went to her page and I saw she was a closing agent in Atlanta. And I was like, Jesus, just be taking care of me. Who does that? And so I asked her, I was like, so look, we want to do a title company here. She was like, come on, I'll help you. That's what I do. And I was like, okay. Wow. So I mean, she's been a godsend. Yep. She's been a godsend.
And this is the thing: most people get blocked out of that industry, right? Because you actually have to have the trust of insurers and banks and lending institutions, because you know you're closing hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions,
right,
property, all that stuff. If something goes wrong, you know that title company's on the hook. You know, and that
makes sense.
Look, so, they block a lot of us out.
Yeah, do
about African Americans. They block a lot of us out because you know that it's almost
new people.
Yeah,
new
definitely.
people. You got to have some experience under your belt before they just handing you out insurance. So that's part of us working with her is getting the experience. So when we put our names on the title for ourselves, they'll be like, oh yeah, I mean, I've seen y'all before, da 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 da. So it has a couple of it's kind of twofold that she's been us.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, one of the title insurance companies that we started under, we actually were the first company in Alabama for that title company.
For that company,
Wow.
Yeah, so
Alabama represent
Huntsville growing like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. We don't see that on the show. We heard about the title company.
It's unfortunate. And we can't fix it. Like it's unfortunate.
That's sad.
I'm always amazed at what actually makes the cut, because people ask us, do we get to see it before y'all? And we don't. We see it Saturday night when y'all see it. And I look forward to it because you don't know what's getting cut.
Right.
Like, there's so many scenes. I've had scenes with my sister, with my family that don't make it, with Monster. We've had different things that we've done and gone through and went to do together that didn't make it. Like, there's so many things that don't make it for the stuff that does make it. And we can't speak to that. Like, you know, we don't get to hover over the edit button.
Right.
That's sad.
In that particular part. But
and that's one of the reasons. And that's one of the reasons why I started watching, because I wanted to see the Black excellence. I wanted to see these couples doing their thing in Huntsville. So, you know, hopefully it can get back into that, because we want to see more of that. You know, of course, there's drama in people's life or, you know, misunderstandings or whatever, but we don't want it to just fixate on that. You know, and if I think that tampers down, then I think that the audience in their passion, if that's what you want to call it, will actually tamper down, you know?
See, that's why.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's I was saying. That's why Sale Atlanta, the realtor company, the show. That's why I think I enjoy watching, because you saw Black women doing major moves on that show. They moving houses.
Ladies Who List Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and I enjoy watching that show because I saw the behind the scenes of how money's been made, how houses been sold, and then they'll show a house. I'm saying, let me guess how much the house is worth. I might guess, and I'll be dead.
It's funny you say that, because when I first met Tiffany, and, you know, we exchanged phone numbers, talk on the phone and that kind of thing. And we were talking one time, and she was sharing that she didn't feel like they showed enough of them in business, you know, whatever, going back and forth in business. And I said, girl, they show y'all at work every episode.
Right.
I said, every episode, somebody's showing a house or they're at the closing off. Every episode, somebody was showing some portion of being in real estate. I said, we'll go 3, 4, 5 episodes and not talk about a lick of work.
Well, it's difficult for me to talk about a lick of work because of what I do.
Right.
You know, it's very difficult, because I remember first season, and Carlos actually said when he came down here recently, he said that we're actually going to talk more about business this season coming up.
That's good.
I think that's important as well.
Right.
But sometimes I hear people say, what does Maurice do? he's a lawyer, but I don't ever see no people in his office, or he does credit repair, but I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, will you get on television and talk about how bad your credit is?
No.
Right? You go through your credit report right on TV. Not release.
And then that was both of us. You know, I was nursing. They were like, why don't we never see Kimmi nursing? They were like, huh? So, you know, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. But I welcome somebody to come on and talk about their credit.
I can come out and talk about my credit, but I don't know. I don't need to repair on my credit though.
Not at all. Well, we're about to close this up, but I did want to say this. Do you guys miss being the six? Ooh, that rhymes. Do you guys miss, the comeback group and how you guys, vibe together, work together, and all this stuff? Do you guys miss that? And do you think it'll ever get back to that?
I miss it. I think that there was some value in the ideas that we had when we first started this. The comeback group was such a novel idea. And this is pre-Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And it was like the world, God had put this idea out there, and those that had the antenna up actually felt it in their spirit. So as we were, we had plans and everything else, we were actually trying to solve a problem that's still prevalent right now, and home ownership. And this is just a nugget I'll just add in there. Home ownership for Black Americans right now is actually lower than it was when it was actually legal to discriminate.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
That's a fact. Wow. So what we were talking about as far as upward mobility in our community is necessary information. So even though we have our drama, bringing in that edutainment part,
that's right.
You leave, you can actually take something and apply it to your life. And make your life better. And you're entertained, right? So I missed that part of the comeback group, the fact that we were going to do something that was different and special.
Well, it's still not too late to do that. I don't think. I will hope not.
With this group, it's going to be interesting to see if it works. But it's never too late to do what and that's kind of why we started our nonprofit and everything else.
Yeah, talk about that. Like, tell us what you guys have going on before we end this out. So tell us what you got going on.
First of all, I want to say thank you to you all coming to Bowling for Boobies in October under our nonprofit. That was our first event under the nonprofit that we formed. And we
paid to come, and we made a donation to the people.
Because they be done said that we paid you. And we paid for your hotel, motel. Thank you so much. And that I do appreciate. I mean, I absolutely appreciate that. It was very successful. It was very successful. And we intend to continue that forward. Our heart in regards to starting Impacted was because we want to make an impact on our community, period. It's very simple. It's simple and sweet in multiple ways, economic justice, education, all of those measures, philanthropy, anything that we can do that's going to help better our communities is what our goal is. And so we have a few different events under our nonprofit that we intend to work forward to. One of them is called the Game Changers. And the Game Changers is in regards to pushing forward entrepreneurship. So it's kind of like a spin on Shark Tank. And people get to bring their ideas to a panel of people who are afforded the opportunity to help them.
Oh, wow.
Cool. To get established in some degree, but you got to come with your game. You got to come with your game. You got to come with your business plan. You got to convince these people that you're worth their money. Wow. The Black Party that we do, that was the toiletry drive. That's still going to be under the umbrella, and that's the toiletry drive for middle school age young ladies coming of age, and having toiletries at their beck and call at their schools, because we were getting a lot of conversation that they didn't have those things in some of the underserved areas. So we have the Black Party, we have the Game Changers, and we have Bowling for Boobies that we have under that particular umbrella right now. The title company, with the help of the Haas Law Firm, is once again up and running. We're taking applications for closing in Madison County. We do mobile closings as well. So people who can't make it into the office in town, we do mobile closings. Everybody in our office is a notary. So if you need notary services, we have that as well. We have Scott Imperium Property Solutions. I still do the real estate and the property management. So that's under the umbrella Scott Imperium also. And then of course, United Legal Team, which is the face for the Haas Law Firm closings here in town, as well as his consumer law that he works with his partner, Al. They work together on the consumer law portion.
And personal injury. And then we got Credit One USA that helps people get their credit fixed. And we're actually working on a huge partnership right now that hopefully within the next year, they'll expand here to Alabama. But, it's a nonprofit that helps individuals expand their business. So we make sure that their credit's right, and then they take their business and they get loans, $250,000 and up to expand their business. So, we're working on some really big stuff for our community and making sure that we're still pushing, the comeback message and mission forward.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question, Maurice.
Real quick, with him saying that, I want people to make sure to keep their ears open, because we do want to do something for Selma, because the tornadoes that came.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about trying to get some kind of collective together to send some things, do some things down that direction as well under impacted. So I want to make sure people kind of keep their ears to the ground, so we can get some things out for that too.
We definitely would join in on that. So would people go to your website in order to do that? Whenever you get it started?
When we get it, and that's the thing, let me tell you what's funny. I've met so many people that said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the bowling for boobies." I'm like, you can still go to the website and donate any day. 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. Just hit that little button and send them little coins. So when we finally get it together, you can always donate. Hopefully we will have a specific hyperlink for that particular event. That's what my goal is. But you can always go to the site. I'm hoping in the next day or two, I can kind of finish pulling it together so that we can, readily get something down there for them.
Yeah.
And I'll put the website up under this video so people can go.
Okay. Impacted.com. Super simple.
M, like as in the letter M.
Impact.
Okay. Yep. Impacted. And we're working with some people that actually have boots on the ground, family members that grew up in Selma. So they know some of the hardest hit areas and some of the people that are native there that need the most help. So
Selma got hit pretty hard down there. It's tragic. Maurice, quick question. It's something personal. You know what I'm saying? You talking about LLCs and whatnot and getting loans. How long do you supposed to have a LLC before you can get a pretty nice size loan?
Well, that everything that you just said is really relative. At the end of the day, it's lender specific, right? You can actually have a brand new LLC and still get a loan. It's just going to lean heavily on your personal credit and your financial history. Right. You have the money to pay this loan back. More than likely, if you want to get a business loan underneath your business, right, you need to have about 2 years. Most lenders are about 2 years, right? And they want to see your tax returns. They want to see your P&Ls, right? And they want to see what else? A PFS, your personal financial statement as well. That right there is something I've been on like a speaking tour, credit wealth tour. For the Alabama State Black Chamber of Commerce. And I wanted to make sure that people were prepared. And that right there is something that's a nugget that most people aren't prepared for. Okay. They just want to see your personal financial statement, right? They want to know this person who's running the business, what do they look like? The business may look good, but I want to see what the people that are running the business look like as well. So hopefully that helps.
Wow, man. Okay, I appreciate that, man. When you gonna go back on tour doing that? You stop doing it now, or are you gonna go back on tour?
No, we're gonna go back on tour. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with the leader of that Black State Chamber of Commerce yesterday. And
Okay.
they're working on, getting their budget and everything set up for this year, but we're going to do that again.
Okay, cool things.
Yeah,
man.
you're welcome to come over here and talk anytime you get ready. So yeah, definitely, because everybody has their own audience, and you have yours and we have ours. So yeah, we definitely would love to share that, because it's information. Everybody needs to know that,
especially in our community, man. Because a lot of us, we're trying to get our own business and we don't know what we're doing. So yeah, that'll be real helpful, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me ask you this, Kimmi. So we're gonna end it with breast cancer. If you could just make it known, let people know to please go and get their mammograms. I know you said some on the reunion from last night about mammogram and ultrasound. Now, for me, I don't know if it's the same, but for me, I do a 3D thing. I pay a little extra. They do that 3D thing or whatever. I don't know if you ever heard of that. And so I don't know if that's the same thing or what. So if you could just, kind of lead us out with that.
So it's so important to do your own self-exams as well as these mammograms. I've talked to so many people since my personal diagnosis that have found their own lump in their breast that a mammogram didn't even catch. So it's different layers that you absolutely have to be mindful of, because we need to change the fact that African American women are so insanely disproportionately affected by breast cancer. And getting your mammograms like you're supposed to is a big part of that. It's a big part of that. If you have a family history, you're supposed to start earlier, like 30s, 35. You're supposed to start earlier. If you don't have a family history, they usually encourage you to start at about 40. And so those things are important. They have lab work that you can take that will tell you if you have genetic markers that will predispose you to breast cancer. There's different, I don't know. I don't want to tell people business. There's other reality shows. There's other places that people have actually talked about having a mastectomy based on these markers, because they went and took the blood work. They had these genetic markers. Their parent might have had breast cancer, and they got a preemptive mastectomy just because of the markers and just because of the family history. So there's a lot of options out there. Like, there's a lot of options. The basic is to once a month do your self breast exams, and I touch my boobs all the time. I don't know why. I just have. It's just I talk and I touch. I talk and I touch. I don't know why. I just do, but that's how I found it. Like, we were watching a basketball game, and we were talking, and I was just talking and touching my boob. And I literally found it. People are like, oh, she's a nurse, she does breast exams. That was not the case that day. That was not the case at all. We were watching the finals, Golden State. And I literally was talking to Maurice and rubbing on my boob. We were laying on the bed. And I said, babe, feel this. And he got in there. And he was like, you need to call the doctor. I was like, I know, right? So self-breast exams, so important. Let your babe feel your boobs. There have been so many conversations about your babe finding the lump, because they're the ones that touch your boob more than you touch your boob. So let your babe touch your boob. Whoever you want to touch your boob, let them touch it. I'll touch it for you. So the other thing is your annual mammograms. Your annual mammograms, like I said, you start earlier if, in fact, you have a family history. And some of them you do more often. Sometimes they want you every 6 months, kind of depending on what your story is. If, in fact, you feel like you have something that your mammogram didn't catch, you can ask them for an ultrasound. You can ask them for the 3D. The 3D and the ultrasound just look a little deeper than the mammogram. There's a lot of places that the insurance may not cover the 3D. The 3D. And so people that I've talked to haven't really gone that direction because they weren't getting covered unless it was a problem. And in my particular case, they said I had dense breasts. And so I would get a mammogram and I would go right over next door, and then I would get an ultrasound on the same day. And so if some doctor has told you you have dense breasts, you need to ask for the ultrasound. You need to ask for the ultrasound because mammogram in percentages, more percentage wise, is not going to catch it. So you have to ask for the ultrasound. And that's just important. It's just important. And from the things I've heard after this TV show has aired about people who have made the choice to go and get a mammogram, it moves my soul because it's important. If you talk to your auntie and she's 37 and she says, I didn't get one yet, and y'all get to talking and her mama had it and her auntie, go get a mammogram. Just tell them, go with them if they don't want to go. You know how many people have emailed me and said, I think I found a lump 4 or 5 months ago, but I'm scared to go. The kind of breast cancer I have negative, it grows so fast. You don't have 4 or 5 months to be scared.
Right.
You don't have 4 or 5 months to be scared. You need to grab my hand and let's take you on down there to get a mammogram. Make it a sister day. Go get your toes done, get a margarita afterwards. I don't know. But some kind of way, you need to get your loved ones in to get these mammograms done and these breast exams done. Because we as Black and brown people, we need to change the statistics on this.
100%.
We need to change the statistics on this. I don't like being 1 in 8.
Right.
I don't like being 1 in 8. So we have to work harder to change the statistics. It's something that for whatever reason people don't like talking about. I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it. I felt almost dirty for some reason. I don't know. It was weird. I was embarrassed to have breast cancer. It's weird. I know I can't explain it. But for some reason, people don't want to talk about it. They're scared. They're nervous. They don't want to go to the doctor. But it's imperative that we do.
Yeah. And I encouraged her to talk about it and to talk about it on the show because it actually can save somebody's life.
Totally agree.
This is not just entertainment. This is life-saving stuff. And I just want to add one more thing as far as the seriousness of it. Less than 2 weeks after finding, we were actually getting treatment. That's how fast.
Wow, that's crazy fast.
That's how fast it went. So it was extremely aggressive. If we didn't find it when we did, when do we find it, right? And how aggressively we treated it lets you know how serious it actually is. Wow. So this is not really
they weren't playing down here. And I mean, I'd be the first to say, you know, Alabama and our physicians, sometimes I think, you know, people think because we're in Alabama, we don't get good care. They're slow, they're not up to speed on the latest stuff. Right. The way those rascals from June the 14th to July the 5th, when I got my first dose of medication, literally, we were in a tailspin trying to get to all the appointments and everything, get the portacath put in, have the surgery for that. Literally 2 weeks from when I found it, not from my mammogram, 2 weeks from when I found it to the first dose of chemo.
Wow. Well, that's great to hear, then.
Shout out to the doctors and the people, the medical team in Alabama.
Right.
Yes, their care was top notch.
Right.
You can tell that everybody there cared.
Right. Right. And we were at Clearview Cancer Institute with the Streeters. We have a whole bunch of Streeters on our team. I like them to see me smile because they saw me cry so much in the beginning.
Wow. Yeah.
And I like to say their names. I hug them when I go in, and I like them to see me smile because their spirit and their knowledge has gotten me through a really difficult time.
Wow.
Well, Kimmi, you sound great. You look great, and you know, like you're getting better every day. And Maurice, you still rock with Kimmi, still stay by her side. Do what you do, bro. Do what you do. Do what you do, man.
And I want to say thank you both for deciding to share your story, you know, with hundreds and thousands of viewers, because even though you may not ever hear it again or nobody emails you or DM you, you have helped so many people, even if it's just to be aware, you know. And so I know me personally, I have a friend that had breast cancer and she's now cancer free. And so your story, it was almost like I didn't get a chance because she's a very private person. And so I was here for her support when she needed me. So I didn't get to see all the details of it, kind of like you went through. So it was just kind of like, it was a little eye-opening for me to see what she went through and how devastating it was, because she didn't tell me till almost, like after the fact almost. But yeah. So yeah, thank you again for sharing your story.
Okay, I mean, we appreciate it. And yeah, Maurice, next time I come to Huntsville, I brought the ride up there so we can race, man, but you didn't come out the bowling alley. I waited for you, man.
Listen, I already know you done souped it up, so
I had him working.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
Well, we appreciate you guys for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much. And we would like Maurice, child, honey. We ain't gonna review this toxic show no more. That's what I said. But
me personally, I said I do it because I don't want to give the other people the opportunity to say they ran us off. That's just me. That's what my mindset.
You gotta be strong. Like
these folks don't have their opinion, right?
No. Right.
No opinion, right?
I know.
Don't give up on us.
The only time it changes, Courtney and Eddie, the only time it changes is when they add fact. Like now we got a problem. As long as it's opinion, we good. Like
right.
But don't add facts to my life.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I hate that people, get mad at somebody else's opinion, because it is what it is. It's an opinion. So, I know for us and Maurice, since you watched us, because Kimmi, when I came to the bowling, and Kimmi said, I don't know y'all. Maurice watched
He does. And he shows me, but he does. And that's why he did his own little awards, because I don't, like he said, he has thicker skin than me. I don't go back and forth with people on social media. However, it does bother me when they say stuff that is untrue and they believe it to be true, and no matter what they say, they just gonna believe what they want. So I just don't bother. You know what I'm saying? I just don't bother, because I don't want to hear the untruth. Even when people seem to be middle of the road, you know what I mean? Pretty unbiased. I watch a YouTube and then I want to get on there and like, no, let me tell you what happened, because they didn't do it. Like, that's what I want to do, and I know the fourth wall and all that kind of stuff. You're just not supposed to. So I just try really hard, because we have so many cast members that get on and say, well, that's not how it happened, and this didn't happen, and And there's a measure of reality that you still need to believe in order for the show to be successful. So every single one of us have been edited. Every single one of us has had a smile popped in where you weren't really smiling at that. You were smiling at something else, and they moved the little grin around. Like, there's nobody that's on this cast that has been done differently. Every single one of us has had an edit situation where we want to get on social media and we want to say, that's not how it happened.
Right.
I'm going to say this is my biggest one. I'm going to say my biggest one, then I'm going to let y'all go. My biggest one is when people say how much energy I have for everybody else. Like, oh, Kimmi will come for Tisha. Kimmi will come for whoever, but she won't go for me, or she won't go for Maurice. So I want to clear that up really quick. Because Kimmi will say what Kimmi thinks she needs to say to anybody that needs to hear it. Whether the producers think you need to hear it, that's on them. Melody and I have had several conversations that didn't make the cut. I don't have any control over that.
Right.
I simply don't have control over that. But if you think for a minute that I will say what I need to everybody on this show except them, you're halfway correct. The only person I give grace to is him, because he's my husband.
That makes sense.
When people say, oh, she ain't got that energy for Maurice, no, ma'am, I don't. Because he's my husband. He's my husband.
Guys, I get it. It may not be on TV, but I get it.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
I try to temper my words. I do try to think more thoroughly about what I'm saying to my king, to my husband.
Right.
And I'm assuming the people who feel like I don't have good energy for Maurice don't have a husband, because you just don't.
Exactly. You're right.
And
you just don't talk to them any kind of way.
You're right.
I'll go on record to say that I do try to think about what comes out of my mouth before I say it. But there's not a person alive that won't catch what I seem to be thinking that I think you need to hear. I promise. I promise. And it's almost irrational for y'all to think that some of the stuff that doesn't get addressed simply just went unaddressed.
Right.
Something is weird. Even in the reunion, my conversation with Mel was probably 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
30 seconds. I'm like, oh, she got that energy for Destiny, but she ain't got the same energy for Mel. The producers didn't seem to think y'all needed to see how much energy I had. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But stop thinking that I talk differently to different people.
Right.
Makes sense.
Good. That's good to know. Glad you cleared it up. So yeah. But yeah, I definitely enjoy you guys together. I enjoy your interaction on the show. So hopefully, you know, depending on what the season looks like, you know, that, you know, Eddie won't be doing the show by himself, Jack.
I'll be yeah. I said, oh man, they a mess, man. Ain't that right? Oh, she ain't here. Yeah.
Don't leave him out there by himself, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney, listen, they don't know you.
They still be mean.
Really don't know
they still
you.
be mean.
Hey, don't worry about it. You know why? Because literally, when you close the computer down or log off that phone, you don't know what comment is happening.
Well,
That's saying. That's their life.
That is true. That is true. But me myself, I told my husband, let's change our Facebook names because these jokers will hunt you down on the internet and go to your job and try to get you fired for your opinion.
Oh,
They're
wow.
out of pocket.
Yeah, that's
They're out of pocket.
Those folks, you know what we need to do? How about we sign them up to get people out to vote? How about we for some financial literacy in our community? Right?
That's right. If they got all that energy, put it to good use, man.
Man, how about we do something more productive?
Like
bills, you know.
Right.
And folks elected to get some real change going.
There you go, bro. There you go. I totally agree with that, man.
Well, we'll see what happens. Depends on the season now. We don't need no more ratchetness on the show. No more ratchetness.
Get tough. Come back. 23 is about toughness.
That's right. It's about toughness. That's right. Come on.
I be getting tough with them in the comments.
I know that's right.
I get tough with them, man. Because somebody had to say, I know this ain't Courtney and Eddie. They don't talk like this. This must be a spam. I said, baby, we have to come like this for this audience, honey. But we light and fluffy on the other. But y'all, we have to pull out the gangsters. We have to pull out the knives and the bullets.
Yeah.
I've been watching reality for so long, and I told Maurice, I said, I just don't see this kind of energy on all these other little shows. There's people with an opinion in the comments. I've read comments for years. I said, why our show? I was like, why these people act like this? I don't understand.
Well, you got a lot. Let me just go and keep it 100. You got a lot of people that's team, you know who, and you got some people that's team Scott.
Agreed.
You know. And we try our best to keep it down the middle. We try our best. But the fans will allow us to be unbiased because the way they come at us. Because if we call or hold somebody accountable, y'all Team Scott, y'all so we have to kind of clap back at them. Now they're saying we biased now. So you know.
Well, and it works the same for us. I'm friends with both ladies. If I say something to Tisha like you shouldn't have said that, you flip-flopping, you too fake. No, I'm her friend, and I felt like she shouldn't have said it. So turn to say something to me. Oh, so now you with me? No, I'm her friend, and if I feel like she shouldn't have said it, I'm gonna say it. Why do I have to not be friends all of a sudden because I felt like what you said was out of pocket? You see what I'm saying? So I don't understand how you can't like a person and feel that day I thought you weren't right. You know, I thought what you said that day wasn't right. It don't make me just not your fan no more. You know, make me not your fan no more.
Guys, what we're discussing right now is emotional.
It is.
Right? Emotional intelligence, the ability to separate a person from an action. Like a lot of this stuff is like it's upper room stuff. So we have a good fan base, but some of them are like Hatfield and McCoys. If you on that side, right, then you're the enemy, no matter what you say. And the way I look at it, even in my review, I think one of the reviewers, he commented or whatever, and I said, listen, if you can watch Fox News and CNN, and you can tell the slant based off what you're watching,
right?
That's a biased viewpoint.
That's right.
CNN can say something about an event. Fox will say something about the event, and nothing that Fox says to CNN is right. Nothing that CNN says to Fox is right.
That's correct.
Both wrong.
That's correct.
And during the elections, we came to a point where we got tired of watching both of them.
Yeah,
right.
This is a mess, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Some of the fan base reminds me of, I hate to say it, Trump supporters, man, because they just so stuck in their mindsets. You can't talk to them; they don't have an open mind. And when you're talking to them, it's like you're talking to a brick wall. It's like they are hell bent on, this is my team. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care what you're saying because you're wrong. My team is right, regardless, man. So sometimes it can get a little frustrating, trying to debate somebody in the comments.
I imagine.
Yeah,
I definitely understand it, and it's on both sides.
It is.
You have it on both sides. Like sometimes I'm like, man, guys, you got to be able to listen to the other side. That's what discourse is about.
That's correct.
Healthy debate is about, right? You got to be able to hear it from both sides.
Right.
And then that helps you grow, thinking,
right,
challenging your opinions. You know what I mean?
Well, man, yeah.
Don't give up. I'll do great.
Yeah,
so.
I do too. So
Thank
y'all stick in there. Y'all,
we appreciate it. Even though, Maurice, we feel like we got the award because we was the only couple.
Yeah, we got about default.
Hey, Courtney and Eddie, y'all not. Trust me, I've seen some others, and I was like, this
okay. Because I said, ooh, we got that by default. We'll take it.
We're going to play it up too. Yeah, man. We want that one. We appreciate it, though, brother. We do, man.
Y'all, matter of fact, how about y'all go out there and
Random TV reviews, they were good too, and they
stopped.
They stopped.
I used to like them, but they stopped for a lot of the toxicity of it all.
Yep.
Like,
we like them too.
Yeah, they're cool. They're good people.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. But on that note, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here.
Yeah.
We thank you again for your just sit down.
Just your time. Yeah, just your time, man. I know it's Sunday, and Kim, I know you got the rest. Get your rest on. And Maurice, you're gonna do what you do. I don't know what you do, but you're gonna do what you do.
They're gonna get his rest on too.
Yeah. So
are you guys filming? Are you guys already filming for the next season?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. Woo, child, y'all don't take no days off.
Right, man.
It's the same. Feel like we film all year long.
They not.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
13 months a year, man.
Golly, I hope they pay y'all good because last year y'all filmed the whole 2022 just about.
Yes,
Please don't do it for 2023.
Don't become number one by not working.
Oh, that's true. So, but on that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I will put your information down below. How do you want people to reach out to you via Instagram? How if they wanted to, and y'all check the DM and they've seen like they were psychologically okay. How would you want them to reach out?
That's right. Y'all need to get
They find you. Like for me, Kimmi_KLS is for Twitter as well as for Instagram. On Facebook is Kimmi Scott. However, on both of them, I have my hyperlink to our websites. So if you go to the websites and you want to send an actual email to us, you can do that too. We have Scott Imperium Property Solutions. We have the Kimmi at thekimzone.com, United Legal Team. Any of those things, we try to check up on. I don't get all the DMs because if I don't have a relationship with you, it goes into this big giant bucket that I just don't never see. So I don't get all the DMs. So that's probably not the best way to reach out to me. Kimmi at thekimzone.com is probably the best for me.
And for me, if you want to follow, it's at Miami Reese on Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook, it's Maurice J. Scott. And more than likely, hit me up on Instagram.
You're not going to let the Miami thing go, are you?
Hey, it changed me, bro. I'm different.
Did you have a cookbook coming out at one point, Kimmi?
thekimzone.com. I have a digital cookbook on thekimzone.com. It's $10.
Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
Cool.
I want to do another one. That was probably season 1, maybe season 2, and that was just because I like to cook. So I would put stuff on the internet, and people were like, "Where's the cookbook? Where's the cookbook?" So I tried to put together just some of the stuff that I was already doing. So once I get back up to speed, I'll get back into trying to get some new recipes and get some new things put together.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, you guys. We just
Appreciate
love Maurice and Kimmi, and we thank you so much for opening up your lives, sharing your journey, and we are looking forward to what?
I can't say we love Maurice and Kimmi.
You can't love nobody. Yeah. Then come the heat. I'm telling you.
I feel it's different towards Courtney and Eddie.
Yeah, somebody was in that comment section. Ooh, I know why he chose y'all now, honey. Y'all is Team Scott. Yeah. Anyway. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and hopefully I'll do the review, and
I'll be open by myself. Yeah, man. It was all right.
We'll be right there.
Hey, I will watch you. Hey, I know it's gonna be funny then, because Courtney, she reels you in. Eddie,
yeah, she tries to. Don't get what I told her. That man went to her head. That's right.
What does that mean, Maurice, when you say I reel him in?
Because Eddie will make a joke all the time about everything, because his mind is always funny, right? And then you're like, hold on, man, let's get back to topic. Let's finish this one out, and then he'll give his input.
I swear, man. Don't tell her that. She already thinks she's my mom.
Bye, you guys.
All right,
Take care.